Mr. Becker, you were the CEO of the bank. You didn't have hedges, did you?
Senator, there were hedges that were put in place, but I don't recall the details around when they were put in place.
You're the CEO, and you had 55% of your assets in government bonds, and you don't know whether you were hedged or not?
Senator, as previously mentioned, I don't have access to my SVB documents, so
Well, I know that,
that,
and I wasn't CEO. You weren't hedged. Now, if you'd bought those hedges, that would have cut into your profits, wouldn't it?
Senator, I don't know the details of the decisions that the team were evaluating.
But if you bought a hedge, the hedge cost money, and it would have decreased your profits, wouldn't it? Do hedges cost money?
Yes, they do.
And so if you bought hedges, you'd have less money, right?
Senator, it depends upon, yes, they would cost money, but it depends upon how the hedges
And if
were
you'd
selected.
made less money, that would have affected your bonus, wouldn't it?
Senator, our compensation was predominantly long-term in nature, and so I know there's been lots of discussions about compensation being short-term.
Mr. Becker, you made a really stupid bet that went bad, didn't you?
Senator,
And the taxpayers of America had to pick up the tab for your stupidity, didn't they?
Senator, there were a series of events, unprecedented events that occurred that led us to where we are today.
No, this wasn't unprecedented. This was bone deep, down to the marrow, stupid. You put all your eggs in one basket. You put all your eggs in one basket. And unless you were living on the International Space Station, you could see that interest rates were rising and you weren't hedged.
So here is a CEO of a bank, and he gets away with answering, I don't know, I wasn't aware, I didn't know the details, which, you know he's lying. And when Kennedy asked him about the hedging, he says, you knew that there were hedges put in place. His response, I didn't know the details. And Kennedy challenges him and says that he had 55% of his assets were put in government bonds. And if that's the case, how would he not know the details of 55% of his assets? Kennedy just basically said, listen, this was a stupid deal that went bad. And of course, the American people had to flip the bill to correct the mistakes made. And remember in the video when he says that it wasn't just like one mistake, it was like a circumstances of mistakes. It was like a lot of mistakes that were made, or not mistakes, he didn't call it circumstance. He says there were circumstances that made this all happen. But Kennedy said, no, this is a stupid deal that basically was made, and the American people once again had to flip the bill, pick up the bill. You know what I wish? I wish that whenever we had to save someone and take them out of bankruptcy or stop them from doing bankruptcy and give them money, our taxpayer dollars, at that point, like every single time, like we would have to have a vote to say yes or no and not depend on our government to decide where our tax dollars go.